Welcome back again to the Anything History channel, where darkness meets the unknown and legends come to life. In today's episode, we plunge into the chilling depths of the black-eyed children phenomenon, a tale that blurs the lines between fact and fiction, leaving fear in its wake. Join us as we unravel the mysteries surrounding these enigmatic figures, exploring the eerie encounters that have haunted witnesses for decades. From the shadowy corners of urban legends to the unexplained encounters that defy explanation, prepare to journey into the heart of darkness and confront the terrifying truth where history is never what it seems. While encounters with black-eyed children have become more prominent in recent decades, there are anecdotal accounts and folktales that some believe may have similarities to the modern legend. One such story dates back to the 1950s in Virginia, where a couple reported encountering two children with completely black eyes while driving through a rural area late at night. The children appeared out of nowhere on the side of the road and begged the couple to give them a ride home. Feeling uneasy but sympathetic, the couple hesitated before ultimately refusing the children's request and driving away. Another tale comes from the Appalachian region in the early 20th century, where locals spoke of strange encounters with black-eyed children of the woods. According to legend, these eerie children were said to roam the forests at night, appearing suddenly to travelers and striking fear into their hearts with their unnaturally black eyes. Stories of these encounters were often whispered around campfires and shared as cautionary tales to those venturing into the wilderness. While these earlier accounts may not align precisely with the modern stories of black-eyed children, they demonstrate that tales of eerie encounters with mysterious children have existed in various forms throughout history. Whether rooted in folklore, urban legend, or genuine experiences, the phenomenon of black-eyed children continues to intrigue and unsettle those who contemplate its origins. But there is a special story that we are now going to talk about. Although it may seem unbelievable, the person telling the story had everything to lose, including putting his professional reputation on the line.
If you want to make me angry, accuse me of making up the black-eyed kids. I have no reason to make this story up. In fact, this is exactly the sort of thing that would hurt my professional career.
In the humid spring of 1996, Brian Bethel, a seasoned journalist based in Texas, found himself at the center of an inexplicable and spine-chilling encounter that would haunt him for years to come. Little did he know that his ordinary evening would soon take a harrowing turn into the realm of the unknown.
There was something that didn't really register. I mean, in retrospect, looking back, and I've known other people who have seen them and said that they're very pale, or sometimes they can even see veins and whatnot.
It happened in Abilene, Texas. Brian, after a long day's work, decided to run a quick errand before heading home. He parked his car in the Westwood Shopping Center near a local movie theater, intending to drop off a payment for his internet service provider at a nearby drop box. As he sat in his car, fumbling with his checkbook, he was suddenly interrupted by a soft tapping on his window. Startled, Brian glanced up to see two children, around 10 or 11 years old, standing outside his car.
There was just this, especially the one who was speaking, was so practiced, I guess.
But it was their eyes that sent a shiver down his spine. Completely black, devoid of any discernible iris or sclera. A primal sense of dread washed over him as he realized he was face to face with the infamous black-eyed children. Suppressing his rising panic, Brian cracked open his window slightly, his heart pounding in his chest. The children spoke in unison, their voices unnaturally monotone.
He was just so smooth and practiced and whatnot. "Hey, mister, we need a ride."
As they politely requested a ride home, despite his mounting fear, Brian felt an inexplicable urge to comply with their request, his rational mind clouded by a strange compulsion.
There was this sort of sense of almost control about it. I mean, in terms of he wasn't initially menacing, but there was this sort of directness, about the words and the diction and whatnot.
But just as he was about to unlock his car door, a wave of terror washed over him, snapping him back to his senses. "What am I thinking?" he asked himself.
So at that point, I really kind of started looking at these kids. Um, the curly-headed one, of course, did all the talking. The freckle-faced kid who was in the background didn't say anything, and he kind of had this sort of blank expression on his face.
Without a word, the children began to force their way into his car, their gaze unblinking and presence becoming threatening by the second. Then in a panic, Brian cranked the car and slammed on the gas, hastily leaving the scene of the unnerving children behind in the darkness. As he pulled away, the children yelled through the glass,
"We can't come in unless you tell us it's okay. Let us in!"
As he peeled away from the scene, he looked back and the kids had disappeared. His mind now raced with questions and fear, grappling with the inexplicable encounter he had just endured. In the days and weeks that followed, Brian struggled to make sense of what had happened that fateful night. He thought to himself, that was crazy. Who or what were these children? Black eyes? That's not normal. Were they even human? Luckily, he had access to a newly forming internet that he just tried to make the payment for. So he decided to share his crazy incident online.
And I shared it initially with a small group of people on a list serve back in the day, the email lists that had to do with paranormal accounts. And these were people who I knew and trusted very much. And I shared the story.
He then was astonished by the flood of responses from individuals who claimed to have had similar encounters with these strange black-eyed children.
It passed around and passed around, and all of a sudden I started getting phone calls and emails and all kinds of things from people, just this flood initially of people, well, what are they? And, I believe you, and all this sort of thing.
Despite his journalistic skepticism, Brian could not shake the lingering feeling of unease that had settled over him since that night.
I mean, I stand by exactly what I wrote. As far as I'm concerned, that's my official document of what happened.
The encounter with the black-eyed children remained etched in his memory, a haunting reminder of the thin veil that separates the known from the unknown, the rational from the inexplicable.
People have asked me, well, how much money have you made from this? And I'll tell you, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
What's more is that there are many stories and people saying these are not really children, but demonic beings asking for permission to come in, to have the chance to take over our minds and possibly our world. These entities, known by many names in ancient texts, are said to feed on the life force of the living, drawing sustenance from fear and despair. The black-eyed children show up in the strangest of places and are believed to be physical manifestations sent forth into our world to sow chaos and discord among mortals. With their unsettling black-eyed gaze and unnatural presence, they instill terror in those who dare to cross their path, drawing them into their web of darkness. That's if you let them in. The purpose of these sinister beings is said to be that they are emissaries of a dark force, sent to test the boundaries between worlds and pave the way for a malevolent invasion. Others believe that they are ancient guardians, tasked with maintaining the delicate balance between light and darkness in the cosmos. To this day, Brian Bethel's chilling encounter serves as a cautionary tale, a testament to the enduring power of urban legends and the depths of human fear. And as the mystery of the black-eyed children continues to captivate the imaginations of people around the world, one question lingers in the minds of those who dare to ponder this enigma.
I have no interest in creating anything that is false.
Was Brian telling the whole truth? What do you think? Well, he says he gained nothing from bringing this story to light. In fact, he claims reputable news organizations have turned him down for jobs since this incident, questioning his veracity in his written work. Either way, we have to believe Brian saw something, and that something seems to have scared the crap out of him. He claims it was two eerie children speaking with hypnotic voices, the black-eyed children. Hey, what do you think? Regardless of their true nature, one thing remains certain. Encounters with the black-eyed children probably shouldn't be taken lightly. They say those who have crossed their path have experienced madness, disappearance, and even death to those who dared to delve too deeply into the mystery. As the veil between worlds grows ever thinner and the shadows of the past encroach upon the present, The legend of the black-eyed children serves as a chilling reminder of the dark forces that lurk beyond the edges of human perception. In a world where the line between reality and nightmare is increasingly blurred, one must tread carefully, for the black-eyed children may be watching, waiting, and hungering for their next victim to let them come in. Comment on the video and subscribe to the channel, and also come back for more strange things that have happened in history.